on time here. So welcome everyone. Welcome to an introduction to WPI academics with our WPI deans. This is going to be a fabulous presentation. My name is Julie Chapman. I'm the Director of Recruitment Partnerships for the Undergraduate Admissions Office, and we're very excited to have you. I just want to give you a quick explanation of how this is going to run. We have about a 30-minute presentation, and then we'll have time at the end for a Q&A, but you are more than welcome to drop any questions into the Q&A while we go. We are using Zoom webinar, so we can't see or hear you, so hopefully you're nice and comfy wherever you are, but of course you can see and hear us. This session is being recorded, so if you need to go back to it later and visit it, or if you want to show your parents or guardians or friends, please do, that'd be lovely. And please, again, use the Q&A feature to ask any questions. I'm going to turn off my screen and turn it over to Professor John McNeil, who's going to do some introductions and kick us off.
Thanks very much, Julie. Good evening, everyone. My name is John McNeil. I'm the Dean of WPI School of Engineering, and together with Dean Gene King and Dean Deborah Jackson, we'll give you an overview of 3 of the 4 schools here at WPI. I'm going to start with just an overview of WPI's academic organization, and then look at the majors that are available to undergraduates within the School of Engineering. Academically, WPI is organized into 4 schools, shown here: the School of Engineering and the School of Arts and Sciences. Each have several departments within them, and I'll be talking about the School of Engineering majors. Dean Gene King will be talking about the School of Arts and Sciences. The Business School has several different options for study within the School of Business. And the Global School runs all of our global programs, the Great Problems Seminar that you might see in the first year, and interdisciplinary and global studies. So to look at the School of Engineering, I'm just going to run through the different majors that are available to undergraduates. We'll start with mechanical engineering, work through the other engineering majors. Robotics engineering is shared between the School of Engineering and the School of Arts and Sciences, since it was formed from faculty in electrical and computer engineering, computer science. Mechanical engineering has people from humanities and arts, in ethics, in design, and it's an example of the interdisciplinary kind of work we do here at WPI. So to start into our majors in engineering, mechanical engineering is WPI's most popular engineering major. If you're a mechanical engineer, the work you're doing is touching things that you would see in your life every day. Lighter cars that use less fuel, batteries that power vehicles more efficiently, ensuring the safety of the food you eat. Mechanical engineers are behind that. Our faculty's interests range widely. It is the largest department in engineering. They develop materials to protect soldiers who have to repair vehicles in the field. They're exploring ways to mitigate sound pollution, developing more efficient drying processes used in food manufacturing, and recycling batteries. Mechanical engineering graduates from WPI work for companies like General Dynamics, Lockheed Martin, and Medtronic. Aerospace engineers work on products related to flight and space, from building rockets to designing flame retardant materials for the textiles worn by astronauts, to working on vertical takeoff and landing of autonomous aircraft. Our aerospace engineering graduates have gone on to work at companies including NASA, SpaceX, Lockheed Martin, Sikorsky Aircraft, and UTC Pratt Whitney. Our smart world is the intersection of the cyber world and the physical world, a connected array of sensors, embedded processors, systems, and other electronic devices that enhance your quality of life. As an electrical and computer engineering major, you'll learn about the cyber physical innovations our ECE graduates are working on, from 5G network connectivity to limb prosthetics that follow the wearer's natural movements. WPI's ECE students are working on wireless networks for autonomous vehicles, developing oxygen sensors for newborns, improving navigation, communication, and localization for aircraft, securing embedded systems for unmanned aerial vehicles. Our ECE graduates work at companies like Apple, Analog Devices, Bose, and Intel. WPI was the first university in the nation to offer a bachelor's, master's, and PhD in robotics. Massachusetts is one of the nation's robotics hubs. There are plenty of companies here devoted to the many ways robotics are used now and in the future. It might be a medical facility that's exploring robotic surgical devices, or a teacher who wants to use robots to help students learn. Students here are collaborating with robotics professionals at the cutting edge of their field. You might find yourself working on robots that sense and detonate landmines and save lives, using robotics to increase the safety and efficiency of recycling centers, developing a robotics-based system to detect different types of prostate cancer, or creating a robotic system that helps human mobility. Our graduates work at places such as Amazon Robotics, Tesla, iRobot, and Google. When you drive over a bridge or a highway, you can thank a team of civil engineers. They're the people behind our infrastructure of bridges, roadways, dams, work that keeps the world accessible, but also developing advanced materials like self-healing concrete, or smart buildings, or algorithms that ease traffic congestion, even techniques to repair historic art sculptures. WPI project students in civil engineering have worked on wind turbines in Massachusetts towns, design and renovations of some buildings here on WPI's campus, and even expansion of the Panama Canal. Our civil engineering graduates work at companies such as Stantec, Jensen Hughes, and Suffolk Construction. You know that climate change is one of the biggest challenges facing our world. If you're passionate about the earth, conservation, and protecting natural resources, environmental engineering is a good major for you to explore. At WPI, students work across the globe on projects that protect and conserve natural resources. They've investigated freshwater scarcity in Greece and wastewater treatment in Puerto Rico. Other students work on projects including evaluating the effects of wind on residential structures, improving the sustainability and accessibility of the La Marta Wildlife Refuge, and reducing phosphorus contamination in stormwater runoff. Architectural engineers combine technology and architecture to create buildings and structures that work in certain climates, topographies, and with local resources all over the world. Architectural engineers do more than design buildings. They use cutting-edge technology to make the buildings use less energy, be healthier for people, and reduce use of natural resources. Other projects our architectural engineers have worked on include building a house that runs exclusively on solar energy in Morocco as part of the Solar Decathlon Africa. Converting a building in Worcester to a greenhouse and community garden. Reducing fire risk in new construction, and optimizing energy efficient building materials. Chemical engineers use their knowledge of chemical reactions to produce life-saving or life-transforming products. But it's a diverse field. Chemical engineers also work in sustainability and health technology. Projects you could work on as an undergraduate include making concentrated biofuel from food waste, developing biosensors to detect potentially deadly bacteria such as C. difficile, and projects that help mitigate climate change. Our graduates work at companies such as Amgen, Pfizer, and Solvus Global, a WPI startup. Biomedical engineers work at the intersection of engineering, medicine, and biology. Right now, our BME faculty are collaborating on work to develop ventilators during the COVID-19 crisis. You might have heard how one of our teams developed beating heart cells using a spinach leaf. Other teams are working on developing artificial organs, researching and developing life-saving medical technologies and devices, and creating tissue patches to repair heart muscle after a heart attack. From WPI, students in biomedical engineering go on to start their own labs or work at companies like Boston Scientific, Mass General Hospital, and Johnson & Johnson. So that's a quick overview of the different options available to you in engineering at WPI. And one final note I'd say about engineering at WPI, when you're looking at other schools to compare to, the four-term system at WPI, the 7-week terms, gives you a lot of flexibility in trying different majors, not just in engineering, but across all the different schools. So you can take advantage of that flexibility as you learn more about the different options that are available to you, not just in the School of Engineering, but all across WPI. So with that, I will turn it over to Dean Jean King from the School of Arts and Sciences. Jean, let your voice be heard. Jean, you're muted.
Yep, got that. Just saw it. Sorry. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. I hope you could hear me now. I see that we're saying, yes, you could hear me. Okay. So I wanted to take time to tell you a little bit about arts and science here at WPI. And the Peterson Family Dean, brand new, not just brand new, because our Dean Jackson is actually newer than I am. But in the arts and sciences, and you're thinking about it and you listen to all of the different things you could do here in engineering, thank you so much for understanding that WPI is more than an engineering school. It is engineering, but it's so much more. So you see on the slide, we talk about imagine, innovate, and impact. And in arts and sciences, that's exactly what we strive to do. The imagine part is about being creative. So if you think about yourself as a creative person, here is some of the things you'll be able to do here at WPI. We'll tell you a little bit more about it. Using your creativity to innovate and to impact the world. Now, how did we get to here, and why is arts and sciences at WPI something we're even talking about, given you may be thinking about WPI as an engineering school? Well, about 50 years ago, we had the WPI plan. And if you're reading anything about WPI, you will see the plan. And what is the plan? Well, the plan actually invites us to not just be engineers, but to be engineers who are humanists, who think about the humans and think about how is the human going to use all of the different things that Professor McNeil just told you about. If you go out into the world to be an engineer, do you just want to solve problems? No, you want to solve problems on behalf of people. So we bring the people into the equation and how we do that. So when WPI came up with this plan, they really thought about a place where we all could thrive, a place where whether we are engineer or scientists or social scientists or somebody in business, we'll all have a place here to imagine, to innovate, and to bring impact to the world. The plan actually induced what we said was the addition of the humanities and arts. And you may be asking yourself, what are the humanities and arts? Well, I would say they're branches of the same tree, which is why there's a tree to the top. And all of these different branches actually allow you to study history and philosophy and languages. We have Chinese and Arabic and Spanish and French. We offer many languages, and we offer ethics, and we offer all of the things you need to sort of have a sense of as you go off into the world. Now, not only do we offer all of these things, but many of you are creative in other ways. We want you to know that music at WPI is a big deal. We have over 500 students in orchestra and concert band and jazz ensemble, again, allowing you to pick from the humanities of arts, many of the things that are creative. Many of the ways that you are creative, you will bring to anything you do, whether you do it in the sciences, engineering, or business. Over 300 students are enrolled in music classes every single year. And what we know is that many of you are also musicians in addition to all that you do. So here in the humanities and arts, we really stress what it is to be a all-around person, not just doing one thing. Now, in the School of Arts and Sciences, as we talked about, we have many departments, and several of them are too long to go into, but I'll tell you quickly, I think you know these departments a lot easier than you probably will know engineering. Biology and biotechnology is all about biology and using life sciences to solve the world's problems. Chemistry, again, chemistry and biochemistry, another life science. Computer science, I'll tell you a little bit more about, is our largest department, and we'll tell you a lot about that. Humanities and arts, what I was just referring to, and actually every student at WPI gets a minor in humanities and arts. So you have to do these courses and you will enjoy them. Mathematics, that's obvious. Physics, you know what it is. SSPS is social science and policy studies. And in social sciences, we do stuff like psychology and economics and all of the sciences that are called the social sciences for a reason, because they are the sciences that I just told you about, the life sciences, and then they're the social sciences. Robotics, engineering, Professor McNeil told you a little bit about that, and we share it between the two schools. So the example I wanted to dig deeper into is computer science. Computer science is the largest major here at WPI. It also has a concentration in cybersecurity. You're hearing a lot about cybersecurity, I'm sure. So we have a really good concentration in cybersecurity, if that's what you're thinking about. They offer also courses in interactive media and game development. So for those of you who are gamers and want to combine that, this is the place to do it. Bioinformatics and computational biology is using mostly data to understand biology and to understand all of the life sciences. Data science, we are the first ones to actually introduce a PhD in data science across the nation. And we're really very excited about this program. We share it with business. And this program allows us to use data to solve business problems, to solve life sciences problems. It's really a really interesting new field for us. And we just started an undergraduate program in data science as of last year. So if you come into us now, you'll be able to do this as an undergraduate. Data science was prior to that a master's programs. We have masters in several different things, including CS, all of the areas I just told you about. And the BS-MS program is really interesting here. You are able to do your BS and MS and not leave WPI to pursue a master's degree and do it in 5 years. Now, a lot of what I'm telling you about are really our interdisciplinary programs. WPI is a place to come if you want to study more than one thing and you really want to combine A with B. Here are the places that you could do that. In terms of computer science, it's all over. You could have a degree in math and computer science. You could do something in the School of Business, like I said, data science and computer science, mechanical engineering, computer and electrical engineering. We call this the hub because so many things could overlap. And if you're the type of person that have a lot of different interests and you do very well in different things, here are things that you could do together. So we just want you to know that these are aspects of programming that people are able to do and you don't have to step out of it. The one in red is neuroscience, and I'm a neuroscientist, so I put this in red because if any of you want to talk to me about neuroscience here at WPI, I'm really excited about a brand new program that we only started 2 years ago. Now, where could you work? Here are where alumni work in computer science project centers. So these are the project centers. If you're reading about WPI, you know we're big on project centers. I've been able to go to this project center in California to see our CS majors there. And here are some of the places they worked in: eBay, Bank of America, Morgan Stanley, Deutsche Bank, Stanley Morgan. It's on and on and on and on. And really what I saw there, and I was really impressed with our students because our students at these project centers are able to then have jobs at these different companies that they have actually interned with. There are many others, including Microsoft, EMC Squares, and on and on and on. Just wanted to show you some of the places that our project center sponsors are, but also where our alumni work. So where are we going? This is really where we're heading. It's a brand new building here on campus, but it really talks about how we are knitting together what we do. Between data science and robotics and computer science and learning science and technology, we're a brand new building on campus we're calling the Smart World. And if you're interested in bringing all of these things together to study the world and study how we're moving forward, here is the place for you. Thank you so much for looking at WPI as an option. We're excited to talk to you today, and we're excited to share with you what we do and share with your parents and others. Please invite them to look at us and tell us what it is you'd want to know. Please, sort of give us some questions so we could talk to you about this. And now I'll turn it over to the Dean of the Business School, Dean Deborah Jackson.
Thank you, Dean King. It is such a privilege to be able to meet with you, even virtually, and share a little bit about the business school at WPI. And as Dean King said, I am Deborah Jackson, Dean of the Business School. So why study business at WPI? I mean, some of you might not have even realized that you could study business at WPI. Why? Because WPI is such a well-known STEM institution. You've already heard from Dean McNeil and Dean King about why you would come to WPI to study engineering or arts and sciences, in particular computer sciences. I mean, you think about all the accolades that our programs have racked up, and you think, why would I think about business? Because look at the wealth of greatness I could have in the engineering disciplines or the science disciplines. But I'm here to tell you that you should consider studying business at WPI, because in the business school, we are at the intersection of it all. If you're interested in business and STEM and society and innovation, we are right smack dab in the middle of it all. We are the place to be for people who want to make an impact in the world. Not to mention, we're a great school in and of ourselves. One of the top rankings that we're very proud of is that Poets and Quants named the WPI Business School one of the top 20 undergraduate business programs in the nation, and we're awfully proud of that. We also have our accreditation by the American Association of Colleges, or the Association for the Advancement of Colleges and Schools of Business, as well as an engineering accreditation in our industrial engineering program. So we are well steeped in our own accolades and accreditation prowess. What makes us interesting and unique is that the business school offers both a technology-focused business curriculum and a business-focused engineering and science curriculum. So whether you're on the business side wanting to learn more about technology, or the technology side wanting to learn more about business, we do it all. We do it through project-based real world experiences. So you don't just learn theory, you do the work and absolutely are able to understand how your learning is applied in a business context. We give direction and trajectory to what you're learning in your technology disciplines. What's more, our faculty are great, our staff are great, and we have some of the best students that you'll find at WPI. So what do we offer? We have 4 different programs as business majors, whether you want to be a business major, a generalist in business, industrial engineering, which, as we've said, we share with the School of Engineering, management information systems, which is the business side of computer science and data science, or management engineering. And then we have 6 different business minors that can pair with any technology degree, whether it's in engineering or arts and sciences. So let me share a little more about each of these. So in our business degrees, we have concentration options. So on the side of business, you can have a concentration in analytics, financial technology, fintech, innovation for social change, which is looking at how we might have societal impact in our business decisions. Ethics, policy studies are all part of that change and societal impact that we do in innovation and societal change, or general business. And then in the management engineering, which is one of my favorite programs that we have in the business school, because you could take a business core and pair that with a minor in any engineering or science discipline, and you can see the options there. You can even customize it, and as TI says, you can have whatever you like. On the business degree program requirements, if you think about our industrial engineering program, this is our engineering or ABET accredited program. It has an industrial engineering core, and then you get into operations, and technical electives that include computer science or electrical and computer engineering, engineering studies, industrial engineering, mechanical engineering, or robotics engineering. Or you can do the BS in Management Information Systems. And here you have your breadth electives. You get an opportunity to study business, accounting, business, entrepreneurship, finance, marketing, operations, or organizational behavior and change. And then you can get into that technical elective, which would get you the computer science exposure. So these are our programs. So what do we want? Business for all. So regardless of how you come to WPI, we want to give you an exposure to business so that you can gain the business acumen that you will need to be even more successful, even more prepared on day one post WPI. So you could do a business sampler, which is pursue that non-business degree and take at least one class in any business area of endeavor, or you could do a business minor. We have a number of students that do this where they take a non-business degree and a minor, 6 courses in a business discipline of their interest. Or like I said, do a business major, pursue a business degree and link it with technology in a meaningful way to have both that bridge of business and technology. Or the business grad, and Dean King talked about this a little bit. We promote this idea of doing a BS in anything and a master's degree in management. You could start this as early as your junior year, and you can actually finish both your BS and your MS in management in 4 years, because we have ways to work with you, and our staff and faculty are very high touch in the business school. We'll sit down with you, map out that program, and you can actually get it done while you are continuing your undergraduate studies, because not only is our master's in management 30 credit hours, but we can show you how you could take graduate courses and have them actually double count in graduate credit and undergraduate credit, and you can get it done in 4 years. Business for all. So you should consider studying business at WPI, because at WPI in the business school, we develop adaptive leaders who create sustainable solutions that deliver globally responsible impact, and we conduct impactful research at the intersection of business and technology and people. And that comes together in the WPI Business School, the premier business school that bridges business and technology for the greater good. So we're excited now to all come back on screen. I'll turn this back over to Julie, who will help us walk through your questions that we might provide answers to you.
Thank you so much, Deborah. So while folks are starting to prepare for some questions, and I know, John, you were just answering one moment ago, I was thinking about the accelerated bachelor's to master's degree program, and I know that just in the admissions office, we have a number of students that are taking advantage of this. We have at least 4 that are doing the MS in management and tacking that on to their bachelor's degree, and they're doing this in 4 years. So I think that's really phenomenal. I wonder if you all could expand a little bit on this accelerated bachelor's to master's degree option that WPI students have and how they go about doing this, because we do get this question frequently in the admissions office. Who wants to start?
Deborah, do you want to start, since Julie went with the example of students doing the master's in business and tacking that onto just about anything, right?
Sure, yes, tacking it on to anything. And in fact, we have more than 100 students right now that are doing this option, because what you find is that the way that we count our graduate courses have more weight than our undergraduate courses. So you actually take your graduate course, you can start as soon as your junior year, and then that satisfies some of your requirements at the undergraduate level. That's why so many students are able to do both. And then with regard to the Master of Science in Management, we take advantage of the fact that you do a master's qualifying project, which serves as a capstone experience. And that means that that capstone isn't needed for our master's in management at the business school. That's what helps you get done at even more quickly. So it's a great program and an opportunity for you to do more in 4, as we talk about.
Thank
So
you.
I would say from an engineering point of view, there's also an option to do a bachelor's and a master's degree in the same field. Now, by the way, if the idea of getting a master's degree seems daunting to you, feel free to not think about it until your junior year. When I finished my bachelor's degree, I never wanted to go back to college again. It was 7 years before I could go back and get my master's degree. That's just the way I was at the time. But if you know that if you've identified the field you're majoring in as something where you want to make a commitment, getting that advanced degree will help you in your career. And the way we structured the BSMS program, you can, as Dean Jackson mentioned, start taking grad courses early and accelerate when you finish the master's degree. And one thing I would say is because WPI's curriculum is very flexible and has a lot of these options, it's really important that you develop a good relationship with your academic advisor. And WPI being a small school where you can get to know people really allows you to do that. But they can help you talk through options that you might not have even known about. So as you're shopping around looking at different schools, if you're looking for that kind of relationship building with your professors, with your academic advisors, people who can get to know you, get to know what your goals are, and maybe talk you through some options that you would bring to them, but also options that they would make you aware of. WPI with our small size and the opportunity to get to know faculty really well is a good place for you.
So what I wanted to add to that, thank you both, is the combination, because people have said how to go deep. So you could go deep or wide, right? So I just spoke to a student yesterday who talked about he had a BME degree and now he's doing his master's in social science and policy study because he wanted to combine his engineering with policy. So, you know, there are engineers out there making policy, right? So knowing the engineering world and knowing how to make policy. And I thought, wow, that's such a great combination. But each of you probably looking at this differently. What are the things you may want to combine and have knowledge of? I would say immediately he would probably go into a managerial role in policy because he will have the engineering background and he will understand how to make policy. So when you do those things, they really come together in ways that you at a level where you're combining things. I love hybrid approaches. I love bringing more than one combination together to attack a problem. So WPI allows you to do that. So I said to him, I thought you were in the School of Engineering. He said, I'm coming back for my master's. And it was really a happy moment to talk to him as he combined things that he's interested in. And that's allowed everywhere around WPI. So whatever it is, you want to mix it up, we're here for you. And again, as they pointed out, we have lots of good advisors who will sit down with you and make that personal to you. So it's really hard to tell you exactly which ones. It's just all of these combinations work, but they work based on what you're looking for, what your goals are, and how we could help you get there.
I wonder if one of you could expand a little bit on the faculty's role at WPI, because I've been at WPI for about 20 years. And something that was surprising to me was just how accessible WPI faculty are and how early they are involved in the process for students. And I don't know that that's something you see everywhere, right? So I wonder if maybe you could expand a little bit from your perspective of what that's like for students.
Sure. So I'll say in engineering, where all the majors at WPI involve a capstone experience, the major qualifying project, the MQP. In engineering, and in some of the other majors, but in all the engineering majors, those projects also involve a design element as well, where you're working on typically a 3-student team with a faculty advisor, designing a system to solve a real world problem using the principles you've learned in your courses. But unlike a course where you have textbook problems with answers in the back of the book, now you're looking at the kinds of problems you would see out on the job in the real world. And finding the faculty member that you want to work with and finding those student teammates that you work with is really something you want to have in mind as you're taking those courses. And from my point of view as faculty, when I'm teaching a course, I'm looking at those students who are doing really well, and not necessarily just getting A's, but the ones asking intelligent questions, showing that, hey, they're really into this material. They're going to be fun to work with in their senior year. So in addition to just passing your classes and getting good grades, we're also as faculty looking to develop relationships with students for working on really interesting senior design projects. And another great aspect of those senior design projects is when we as faculty are called on to write letters of recommendation for a job or a research position in grad school, we can say a lot more than they took my class and they got an A. I can say what it was like to work with them day in, day out, week after week through the entire senior year and see how they responded in the face of difficult problems. You might have an opportunity to demonstrate resilience, ingenuity, teamwork, leadership, business savvy. There's so many ways you can get to know students, and the project-based learning that we feature at WPI is great. And WPI is known for this now, and we attract faculty who like doing this. I would say that's the other aspect of it as well. So I'll leave that there from the engineering point of view and let Jean and Deborah talk about their experience.
So one quick thing I want to add, thank you, John, and it's for all of us, but WPI was voted #1 by the Wall Street Journal for research and teaching. And what I wanted to talk about is the undergraduate research here, the ability to work with students in my lab all over the summer. It's the most exciting thing for me. And I think it's as exciting for them because we work on real problems. I mean, we're not pretending that we're working on a problem. We're solving a problem together. And the ability to work in the labs of many of our professors here at WPI as an undergraduate is something was brand new to me when I came to WPI. As a graduate student, working in the lab is something you take for granted. But as an undergraduate student, we have so many opportunities for you to work very closely with faculty. And that faculty interaction is something, as John points out, is something that you don't see often at other schools at the same level. So I think WPI does it really well in terms of having you very close to professors, learning from them, but spending day in, day out with them, for them to know you and for you to know them.
And then if I could just briefly add, and I'll answer this from a different perspective as a WPI parent, because one of the things that happen, I mean, I have a son who's at WPI and you think, oh, well, maybe that's why he chose to go to WPI. But no, he chose WPI because he reached out to a professor in arts and sciences and a professor in engineering, and they took time, even for him at the time, a high school senior, to meet with them over Zoom and talk to him about his career aspirations. And that's what closed my son on WPI, that already he was able to access professors who would take the time to talk to him. And that's what our students talk about all through their program.
Thank you so much. Jean, are you answering the question about the med?
Oh, I could answer it. I was just going
Yeah, because I think that could be something that folks might be.
that other students want to know.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Yes. And I came to WPI from UMass Medical School. So I have to say I was on the admissions committee at UMass Medical School, and I have seen a lot of WPI alums come through. And we have a lot of WPI alums who are actually on faculty at UMass Medical School. We have a joint PhD program with UMass Medical School. So yes, we think about medicine all the time and how we could get engineers and others and scientists and business people into medicine. So WPI does that well. Absolutely. We have the courses that you could take. We have an advisor for people interested in medical school. You could always come to me and talk to me about it if this is something you're interested in. Again, I've spent 23 years of my life in a medical school setting. And so I know it pretty well, and I'll be able to help you sort of get the right courses. Again, one of the things you need to know that I just talked about, but I wanted to emphasize again, because of the research component that we have, we actually allow students to do enough research in particular areas, biomedical engineering, biology, chemistry, in areas of life sciences that actually help them get into medical school. Because you will have that experience, plus you'll have the WPI experience, and of course, we'll sit with you and make sure you have all the courses you need, draft a letter for you to go to the admissions committee. So there's a lot of help here to get you into medical school. And we think actually is not just a viable option, it's a very attractive option. So yes, medical school is something we think about and do, and you will have an advisor specifically for medical school.
Thanks, Jean. Didn't mean to put you on the spot there, but I knew that was.
No, that's okay. I was just going to do that.
Answer. So we only have a couple minutes left, and I know we had some questions come in. If there's any final questions, please feel free to drop them in the Q&A. But as we kind of wrap up, does anybody have any final thoughts that they would like to share? Oh, there's a really good, never mind. I have a really good question in the Q&A that I feel like all three of you could probably answer pretty well. And that's, what are you looking for in potential students? So when you think about the WPI student and who's a good match, what are those characteristics that you think of first?
Well, I always wait to let Jean or Deborah go first, but I'll go first.
I have so many answers, so I'm trying to, I was hoping you would go first. So
ahead.
curiosity. I love curious students, because WPI, we have so much to offer that it takes a level of curiosity to discover the pieces. And I think we're not the kind of place that you just come in and you follow a track. We want students who are excited about being here, curious. And I'm literally curious about everything, so I get that. So critical thinkers, but curiosity probably of all the things I would say, the thing that would set me towards a path that I think this is a student that we should be interested in. This is a student that probably will be interested in us.
Yeah, so I went to an education conference where the someone from a different school presented a curriculum, and it was take these 40 courses in this order. And I'm like, that is not a WPI student. For someone who's not only curious about the material, but curious about what different options they have, where things can go, and someone who loves working on teams, getting to know people, digging into unstructured problems that really will make a difference in people's lives when you have the solution. That's the kind of person we're looking for.
Absolutely. I would also add that just that you are okay with it not having an answer that has already been discovered, because we're trying to do different things and we want to make a difference in the lives of people, so people who want to apply their knowledge to real world problems to make a difference in society. That's what we care about.
Thank you so much. I know we have about 1 minute left. There's a lot of questions coming in. If we're not able to get all to your questions, please feel free to email them to me directly at just admissions@wpi.edu and share that you sat in on a panel last night and you'd like to connect with us, and I can either farm it out to these three lovely people or answer the question myself. I don't know if there's any other quick ones that we can answer.
I can answer Toby's question quickly. We
Okay,
would love to
okay.
have you work on grant proposals, but we don't expect it. But many of our students do work on research that is submitted for publications, even as undergraduates. What's very common is you work a summer research internship before that senior capstone experience, or even earlier. But the senior capstone experience extending over the year gives you time to develop research results. And many of our students will work with their faculty advisors to write up research and get it published.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Unfortunately, we do have to end our session. We have another presentation coming up on deck right after this, but as I shared, please email us at admissions@WPI and I will make sure.
And Julia, Arisa's
Yes.
question on
Oh.
dorms.
Yes,
Should they, can the housing office provide an answer there?
100% they can.
Okay,
Yeah, I would definitely reach out to residential services at WPI. They'd be happy to answer any questions about living in the residence halls and life at WPI. That's definitely the best folks to go to for there. And then I know there was another med school question, but
There was, I couldn't find it, Julie.
no, you found it? Oh, no.
I thought that was the one I
I
answered.
think we just didn't
Yep.
retire
We
that
did,
one.
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
right. Okay, wonderful. Oh my gosh. Thank you all. Thank you, my panelists, my deans, for being here. It was really great seeing you all and hearing your voices and sharing your experience at WPI. I think that's been exceedingly helpful. I want to thank all of our guests that joined us this evening as well. And we certainly hope to see you in person at WPI sometime soon. And if you haven't
Yes.
visit,
Definitely.
we do have in-person tours and information sessions going on, so I'll put a plug in for that. But if you can't, for whatever reason, join us in person, we do have lots of other virtual opportunities for information sessions, tours, and a whole bunch of other virtual academic sessions too. So thank you all. Thank you again.
Right.
I know,
Thank
looking
you,
forward to
everybody.
seeing you at WPI. Bye.
Bye all.
Bye.
Bye.